This gotta love being live. It looks like the microphone. It looks like it's moving a little bit more now.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a little bit better. We're just going to have to troubleshoot that and see what's going on a little bit later on. So I do apologize for
Yeah.
that. I don't want to take up any more of our time this evening trying to troubleshoot. Hopefully that will be enough, and I will just try to enunciate better because I know generally people can hear Scott. They
Yeah.
can very rarely hear me when we have mic issues because I'm much more soft spoken. So I will do my best to speak up a little bit.
Yeah.
So back to Walt Disney World news. They are celebrating halfway to Halloween, so they have some really fun merchandise and some foods and stuff that you can get. My favorite, they brought back the Donald Duck in a candy corn costume sipper. I thought that one was really cute, and that will be back for a limited time. Next is Fort Wilderness might be getting a refurbishment. This is kind of a it's in the discussions. They haven't formally set anything in stone, but they're talking about completely redoing the cabins and making those cabins DVC options. So I think that's really interesting. The concept art looked absolutely beautiful, but I don't know if it's something that is going to be super like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I want to do. So curious to see what they're going to do with that. I know. Sounds good. Okay, cool. We got it fixed.
Full cool.
We're
full of cool.
I just have to remember. I completely forgot about our microphone, and so that definitely made a difference this evening.
Yeah.
But curious to see what they're going to do with those and just how much they will be if they do that with DVC.
Yeah.
So. Also, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I am so excited. They did officially announce the dates. The dates will be on select nights from August 11th through October 31st. And if you are not an annual pass holder or DVC member, just a regular guest, you will be able to start purchasing tickets for those on May 2nd. So if you are thinking about doing a trip to Disney, and you're definitely wanting to do that event, I had a few families down there last year for it. It's a really great thing. It's probably my favorite party so far that we have ever been to. So definitely enjoy that a lot and highly recommend it. Let's get you booked and let's get your room and everything done because those rooms will sell out quickly now that they have those dates officially out there.
Yes, and adults can trick or treat.
Adults can trick or treat. Adults can also dress up. So if you want to do a family outfit, you can.
Yes, much like what we did. We had you as Tinkerbell, and Megan almost got into a fight. Anyway, but she was the better Tinkerbell by far.
I was Julia Roberts Tinkerbell from Hook.
Yeah,
of course I was the better one.
Yes.
So anyway, a couple of favorites are going to be coming back. Jack Skellington is going to be the host, so very, very excited to see that again. I think he does a terrific job. Also, the Boo to You parade, my favorite parade ever that I have ever seen, is back. Cannot wait to see that. And then also the Sanderson sisters will be returning for their stage show in front of the castle. So I cannot wait to have that back as well. And then very quickly, just because I am trying to rush through these so we can get to talking about Animal Kingdom and conservation, Universal Orlando did announce that they are doing their Universal Orlando Annual Pass Holder Appreciation Month. Not the entire month, but it is going to be from May 1st through May 26th. You're going to be able to get a pass holder only entrance into Islands of Adventure from 8 to 2. I think that is a fantastic thing, especially over at Islands with the Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. A lot of people like trying to drop it down and try to get in as quickly as they can. A rope drop, and this will definitely help that for the annual pass holders. There's also going to be exclusive dining locations at Confisco Grill and Lombard Seafood. Definitely Confisco's is a really great opportunity. It's upstairs. You get to people watch. If you sit outside, it's an absolutely amazing time up there. So glad that is coming back.
Must have the nachos.
Yes, have the nachos.
Oh God, I'm hungry for them now.
Depending on availability, because obviously they don't have nearly as many hotel rooms as Disney does. But you annual pass holders can save up to 45% off of select rooms during their stay from May 1st through May 26th. So this is definitely a time to be able to take advantage and go and experience Universal and kind of have a couple days, whether you're a local and you want to have a staycation, or if you are not local like us and you're just like, you know what, I'm taking advantage of the deal.
And we can get them hooked up with their annual pass holders, correct?
Yes, I can do
So
your hotel. I can do all
that.
of it for you. So definitely reach out. Now back to Animal Kingdom, because let's face it, that's what I want to talk about. Anything with animals, it's what I want to talk about.
All right. So while Megan takes a real quick break here and takes a drink, I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but Animal Kingdom, when they first opened back in 1998, they buried a time capsule.
Yeah, he just showed me this.
So cool that I got to see this. They actually dug it up and pulled it out. And they pulled the time capsule and opened it up, and they found inside of it floppy disks. I mean,
like 5-inch floppy disks.
So the younger generation that's watching, this is the dinosaur stuff of the computer generation. So, they had those in there. They actually had a signed T-shirt by all the cast members and stuff that originally was right there at the very beginning. And they signed a T-shirt from 1998, which was really cool. Computer off. Sorry. Technology thank you. Technology is killing us tonight. But anyway, back to it. They actually had the brochures and stuff from the park's opening before they had Pandora and the Asian world and everything. Oh God, I'm getting so excited. I can't think.
They also had VHS tapes for the orientation for the cast members that would be working in Animal Kingdom on opening day.
And printed paper tickets. Paper tickets, guys. Do you hear that? Paper tickets? Dude, think about how long it's been since you've seen paper tickets there.
I know. That's absolutely amazing. So now I wish I had been there. 1998. Obviously, I would have still been in middle school and stuff, but I would have loved to have been there because one of my all-time favorite conservationists is Jane Goodall, and she was actually there at the opening ceremony and has been a huge supporter of what Disney has done with their conservation efforts at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And I just think it would have been so cool to have been able to have seen her. I remember paper ticket books. So,
and the funny thing is remembering about that. But I also remember being down there in Florida with Mom and Dad when we were visiting what was at the time was just the Magic Kingdom in Epcot. And I remember seeing the sign saying "Coming soon, Animal Kingdom."
Really?
Yes, I remember seeing that. And at first I thought, well, this would be kind of neat. But I was like, well, how are they going to make that like Disney themed Animal Kingdom? And of course, I was younger back then, so I was just like, cool animals, But it was so neat to be, and I yes, at my age, I still remember things like that. I can't believe it. So,
just to give you guys a perspective, if you have never been to Animal Kingdom, it is over 500 acres. So basically, it is the largest Disney park that is on Earth. I can't remember. It's 2 or 4 Magic Kingdoms can fit inside of it. It's that big. And a majority of it is the safari section, which for Kilimanjaro safaris, all of that land that they have for their animals with their herds. So there is a giant footprint for Animal Kingdom. They also have a whopping 123 cast members that have been there since opening day.
Wow.
I just think that is so impressive. 123 dedicated employees that have been at Animal Kingdom.
Wow.
So
that is really cool.
Another interesting fact is, even though it's not technically a zoo, it is accredited as a zoo under the Zoological Society, but it is the most visited zoo globally. Which, I mean, really is not surprising.
No.
But
okay, you get immersed by this place as soon as you walk through the gates.
Yes.
Okay. As soon as you get through on the other side, You don't even realize it, but you actually are climbing up a hill.
Yes, you are.
You're walking up to go up to the top. And once you get to the top and you peek across, you look straight across, and guess what you see? That beautiful, iconic tree of life.
Yep.
And they did that on purpose so that way when you got up to the top, you could see the tree and all the people's heads will be below it. So that way you can take photos. And if you notice, like all the Photoshop people are all down through as you go down, down into where the tree is.
Yep.
So that way you can stop and take photos at the different levels, and you don't have to worry about having 100,000 people in the background and ruin your photos. So
exactly.
When I tell you they thought of everything with this park, they thought of everything with this park. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they really did. And what's really incredible is the main Imagineer, or the head Imagineer, Joe Rohde, he did so much traveling and extensive research on everything to really make it as authentic as he possibly could, which really makes it a very unique destination.
Yeah.
Would have been very easy for them to have just done concrete trees and like made everything up and made it fake. Instead, they brought these very unique plant life and animals and made them flourish and thrive in a Florida climate that maybe isn't the most conducive for what the animal or the plant life needs, but definitely has made it do what it needs to do and make it that much more special for all of us that get to visit. But just to give you a perspective, they managed to put 40,000 mature trees into Disney's Animal Kingdom before they opened. They also have 60 miles of underground utilidors.
Wow.
Did you realize that they also had a utilidor? Because I didn't until I was doing research.
I didn't know that at all. But it makes sense with the elevated ground underneath. You would.
Mm-hmm. So they also collected seeds from 37 different countries in order to be able to plant all of these different fauna and flora, which I thought was really cool. And also the Tree of Life is 140 feet tall, and it was actually an oil rig that is in the middle of it, is the framework of it, because they couldn't find anything else that was big enough and sturdy enough in order to be able to build the Tree of Life upon.
Yeah, and to deal with hurricanes that come through in Florida, I mean, and literally just last year, one literally went right over top of Walt Disney World. So, I mean, it's scary to think that, but you got to plan for it because you are on the Florida Peninsula, or you're down in Florida, and hurricanes are a thing. So
yes, they definitely are. So now a couple of things that I did want to point out real quick is Expedition Everest, and actually that section of Asia is not an original.
Nope.
Expedition Everest opened in 2006, and it was the most expensive roller coaster ever built until which coaster do you think?
Oh, Pandora.
Coaster.
Oh, coaster. Tron.
Nope.
Really? Rock and Roller Coaster, the way you're smiling.
Nope. You got to think of the competition. What is an absolutely incredible roller coaster that is so technologically advanced that...
Okay, I've done lost it.
Hagrid's.
Oh, Hagrid's. Duh. I was only thinking in Disney.
No.
Okay.
It was the most expensive roller coaster ever built in the world.
Oh, okay.
Until
I'm sorry.
Hagrid's was built.
I'm sorry, teacher. I didn't pay attention.
No, you didn't. That's okay.
Send me to detention.
And then Pandora, obviously, it opened in 2017.
Yeah.
Which... absolutely love that section of the park, and if you ever get to go in the evening, that is the best time to go.
Yes, best time to do. Just as the sun's going down, and then all the magic starts to happen in the ground and around you and the trees and stuff. Wow, is it beautiful. I love I'm telling you, when we move down there, that is just, if I'm having a bad day, that's something I'm just going to go and just sit there and just wait for it to transform.
Yep, exactly. So now, speaking of the animals and everything in Animal Kingdom, obviously one of the big things we want to talk about this evening is the conservation efforts. One reason why we want to bring that up is because a lot of people end up trying to either go in the summertime or going during breaks and such like that, because a lot of schools don't like having their kids pulled out for vacations. Now, we had always done educational trips with our kids. The older boys, Nick is homeschooled. While they were in school, we would do a lot of educational trips, and we would go during off seasons. And one of the reasons is because we got to do more and see more, so they were able to actually learn and get educated more rather than being stuck in long lines. And we really want to kind of focus on some things that you can think about if you are thinking about doing an educational trip with your children. Conservation is a huge thing that everybody needs to be more aware of, and definitely hits that criteria.
Well, the one thing comes to mind right now, first of all, is recycling. Huge thing that goes on right down there at Disney World. Did you know that Disney World has paper straws and not plastic?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. You don't realize it until you get down there and you go,
I know.
Really?
Yeah. And Disney is actually aiming for zero waste by 2030.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So in 7 short years,
and
zero waste.
I don't know if you knew this or not, Megan, but the sand that is actually used in some of the exhibits with the animals and stuff is actually recycled glass from the bars right there on property.
Actually, I had heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, they use it in the Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Yes.
And then also certain exhibits and stuff with animals that need that coarser sand.
Yeah.
So they're able to pulverize it and turn it into a granule that is actually usable.
Yeah, and it doesn't cut their feet or anything. It's so small. No. It's like it looks like actual sand. I mean, it
feels like actual sand.
Yeah, it's real interesting to see them to do that process, and it's actually done right there at Animal Kingdom.
Yes, it is.
Now, and you said it, they even share it over into Epcot at the World of the Seas. So they use it there. They use it all around, and they also use it over at the Animal Kingdom Lodge too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's really cool. So now one of the initiatives he kind of started talking about a little bit was the butterflies and bees and the pollinators. I really want to get into that a little bit more because during Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival,
I'm the pollinator. Sorry.
Anyway,
keep talking.
Over at Epcot during the Flower and Garden Festival, they actually have what's called Butterfly Landing, and it is this outdoor tent with like these mesh doors and everything, so it kind of keep all of the butterflies in where they need to be until they can be released. But you can actually go in and you can see all of these different butterflies and these different plants and stuff that are their favorites in order to be able to grow. And you'll also see a lot of caterpillars, and you might even see a couple in their chrysalis and then maybe emerging from it. So very cool that they have that there to kind of showcase that, as well as their giant butterfly topiary.
And that's over by the Living World, right?
That's over by the land. It's over in the nature.
Land, sorry, the nature part.
The nature section.
Oh, that's where Pooh is, where he has his little.
Because Pooh's trying to catch all the butterflies. He's trying to catch the
butterflies. That's funny.
That escape. So it's really cute. But not only that, they over at, like with the solar panels, like what he just said, they use those fields to build and create more and more flower gardens and plant gardens and stuff for their pollinators, bees, butterflies, different species. But they do that because at all of the resorts and also the parks, they test these different plants and see which ones are actually attracting certain species. And then when they find ones that are doing really well, they'll actually put them out into their where they have all of these gardens and such off exhibit per se. Part of the when Walt Disney actually opened or bought Walt Disney World, he had said that 1/3 of the property would always be saved for conservation. And this is just another way of Disney kind of creating more and more conservation is by using some of these spaces for the butterflies and bees and all that fun stuff.
And the funny thing is, they're not even close.
Nope. Not even close. So, another big initiative that they do is they are very, very big with rescuing and rehabilitating sea turtles.
Yes, they are.
And not just at Disney, Walt Disney World. They are also doing it at Disney's Vero Beach, where they actually have several stations for hatchlings. They'll have sea turtles come up, lay their eggs, and then they make sure that they count them, make sure that everything looks good, and then kind of leave them be so that they can hatch and go out on their own. Now, they actually celebrated nearly 2 decades at Vero Beach of doing sea turtle conservation, and 1.5 million sea turtle hatchlings making it to the ocean.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so that part's absolutely incredible. Hilton Head also has a very similar initiative, but obviously Hilton Head's a little bit farther north, so they don't have quite as many as you do like on the Florida coastline coming up.
They will have them.
Yes,
they will
do.
have them because we
missed it by like a couple of weeks.
Yeah. They actually do it up in Chincoteague, Virginia too.
Yes, they do.
Right there at Assateague Island. It is very few, but like Megan just said, the further south you go, the warmer the waters, the better they come in. So
Yep, exactly. Now the Seas with Nemo and Friends, their rehab program, they will actually rehabilitate whether it's sea turtles that have been brought to them because of boat strikes. Maybe they're having that they have this very specific virus that like affects like that creates these papillomas and stuff on their eyes and flippers and stuff, makes it hard for them to move. They help treat those. They also treat if they happen to ingest fishing line or hooks or anything like that. They treat all of that as well. And then what they'll do is if they can get the animal so that it is safe to be released, it's a healthy weight, it's being able to catch food on its own, it's not having issues diving, things like that. They re-release them back out into the wild just as soon as they possibly can, because ultimately that's where they need to be. Now, for those that cannot be re-released, say for instance a boat strike, a lot of times when a turtle happens to get hit by a boat, they end up getting what's called bubble butt syndrome, and you can look it up. I'm not making this up. But basically they have a pocket of gas that's underneath of their shell, and it prevents them from being able to dive properly. A lot of times, again, like it's in the back end, which is where it comes from, bubble butt, because their butt's always like up in the air. Sometimes it's a certain side, so they're always listed to the side and things. But at that point, it's really hard for them to be able to hunt and dive down where they need to. And so we generally will Disney will step in and they will either rehome them in their 5.7 million gallon tank that they have there at the Seas. Can you believe it's that big? Or go to a sister facility, zoo, to kind of continue to spread the word.
They wow, boy, you covered a lot right there. Back to the turtle hatchlings and stuff. I think that is amazing that they've done over that many hatchlings and helped them
just
go back.
At Vero Beach.
Just at Vero Beach. I mean, that is just phenomenal for that. For them, all the work and stuff that they do to help protect these animals and take care of them and stuff. It's amazing to see all of that work coming to life. And then when you go in and you actually get to meet one of the vets face to face, which we did. That was so cool.
Oh, she was so nice too.
That would I geeked. We literally geeked out when we met her, and we thanked her for what she does, because not only is she helping conserve the animals' lives and help them and thrive and stuff, and helping with the breeding process and everything like that, but she didn't even realize the fact that all of her colleagues that are on the show actually help our son speak. With all the animals and stuff like that, he sees like the giraffes and everything. Every time we sit down and watch that show, he's always constantly looking at the show and going, giraffe, monkey, gorillas. It's literally helping him starting to talk. So, so that, she didn't even realize that aspect of the show was really helping everybody else out too. So he absolutely loves it. So we are eternally grateful, if for no other reason, and are so
excited every time we get to take him in there, because then he gets to see the animals that he sees on the TV show, like Gino, the silverback gorilla.
Gino.
But back to conservation efforts, another thing that Disney is doing is they are very heavily focused on sustaining and multiplying coral reefs. Obviously, coral reefs have shrunken drastically because of pollution and habitat loss, etc. And so they're really trying very hard to create more coral reef, because without coral reef, we lose a very large percentage of species in the oceans. And so they what they have been doing is they have been growing and maintaining these different species of coral that is disease and climate resistant, so that when they are big enough, they can transplant them, put them into these areas in the wild, and then create these larger and larger ecosystems to bring back these animals that haven't been in their native habitat for how long. So it's not just on the top of the planet, it's also like on the ocean as well. They're very, very focused on the coasts of Florida. I'm sure that they're partnered with John Pennekamp, which is in Key Largo. They have a very large coral reef system down there. It's a national park reserve. They're also very heavily focused on coral reefs in the Bahamas. So if this is something that you might be interested in, obviously, planning on talking a lot about Disney's Animal Kingdom, but these vacations don't have to just be at a theme park. They can be in the Keys, where they're learning about marine wildlife and how that is affecting everything else. It can be in taking a cruise to the Bahamas, and guess what? We're going to go and we're going to do a snuba exercise so that we can see the animals and see the coral reefs and see what's being done. So it's really incredible just how far-reaching Disney's conservation efforts really are when you start to think about it.
So also Disney has that private island. It's called, what is it, Megan?
Castaway Cay.
And also in the bay right there, they have like hidden like Mickeys and Minnies and Donalds and stuff like that. They've got the big statues and stuff down inside the water.
The Dumbo one's my favorite, the Dumbo.
Right. A lot of people don't realize, but they have those there so where the coral can start growing onto
it.
And that is actually one of their projects that they have, that they're working on to get the coral reef to start at that island. And think about it, in like 20, 30 years from now, when that coral reef really starts to take off.
I know. And can you imagine Lighthouse Point is their second destination in the Bahamas? And that is going to also be very heavily focused on conservation as well. So it'll be I'm curious to see 25 years from now what those two islands will be like. So very cool.
We might be looking at a small Great Barrier Reef, just like from the Bahamas,
restoring what was there 200 years ago. So conservation highlights. Obviously, I keep talking about conservation efforts that Walt Disney World has done. So they do have the World Conservation Fund, Wildlife Conservation Fund, that you can donate to whenever you are at the Animal Kingdom theme park. Whenever you're making a merchandise purchase or getting a cup of coffee, you can always donate a couple dollars to help their conservation efforts. As of right now, they have raised $120 million to support different conservation efforts across the globe since 1995. They have over 1,000 species of wildlife that have also been protected since 1995. And 315 million acres have been protected globally since 1995, which is equal to 10,000 Walt Disney Worlds.
That's big.
I think that is absolutely incredible that they've been able to be a part of that. They're also not completely funding, but they are helping with funding 60 different conservation organizations, which are located in 32 different countries. Now, if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend that you go and you just Google Walt Disney World or Disney conservation efforts, and then look at all these different countries and everything, because they literally are touching every part of the globe. It feels like it's really incredible.
Well, but if you stop and think about it, what is the Walt Disney World known for, or Walt Disney Corporation known for? And it's known to be a great travel destination.
Yeah.
Well, those travel destinations doesn't just have to be in Orlando, Florida, or Anaheim, California.
Yep.
They're now Adventures by Disney,
yeah,
which are in Hawaii and over in, you can go to Alaska. There's
the
stuff
Arctic
to do everywhere.
expedition with Joe Rohde. Oh
yeah.
my God, I would love to do that.
Yeah, that would $15,000 a person.
Yeah.
Oh man, it'd be nice to do that, but
it would be worth it.
yeah, to be able to say that you stepped on a continent at the bottom of the world,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Well, that's
would be
the
really
Antarctic,
cool.
but this one's the Arctic.
The Arctic,
which is
sorry.
North.
God,
It's okay.
it's been a long
He's
Monday.
been up since 3:00 this
Yeah,
morning,
I'm
so let's give
tired.
him a pass on some things this evening.
My
Normally,
name
I
is
would-
Joe. No, it isn't.
Normally, I would give him some crap for it, but
If I was Joe, I would have the big hoops and make your, Joe Rohde. It would be so cool to meet that guy. I'm telling you,
It really would.
He's a really cool guy, and I would love to just sit and pick his brain for like a half an hour.
Yep.
But
Because I know my brain would be hurting after talking to him.
oh yeah,
So
yeah, and
he's
just to
incredible.
hear some of his.
I would want to hear the story of him bringing the tiger into the boardroom.
Oh my God, yes.
I would just be like, tell me that story.
Yeah. Well, I would also want to hear his stories and stuff about all the theming and stuff that he did with Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
And the Animal Kingdom Lodge too, because all of that theming went over to there too.
Exactly.
So, and I would just love to sit there and just like walk around with him and just say, okay, tell me about this, show me what inspired you to do this,
I know.
And I think it would be so cool to be able to just to have a little powwow with that guy. That'd be really neat.
That would be absolutely awesome.
So,
Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, I don't want to leave you guys hanging with the tiger in a boardroom. So Michael Eisner, who was the CEO at the time, they are in the process of planning and getting ready to build Animal Kingdom. And Michael was very much, Mr. Eisner was very much like, okay, but like how much, like the animals and stuff, yeah, they're great, but how interesting are they really going to be to our guests? Where's the wow factor? Like, how are we going to be bringing them back time and again? And Joe Rohde took offense to this. And so he decided that he was going to prove a point. And he came into a board of directors meeting with Michael Eisner and a 400-pound Sumatran tiger. And that tiger, as it was walking by, brushed up against Mr. Michael Eisner. And he never brought up whether or not they were a cool and like, oh my gosh, like there's a tiger here ever again. So
I would have loved to seen the faces,
because everybody just got so quiet and just like, there's a tiger. Like, what do we do? Very Joe Rohde-ish.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think I just
totally
would love to have heard more about that.
Yeah.
But speaking of conservation efforts, one thing I was really interested in, obviously we've talked about the butterflies and the bees and things like that. We'll get into some birds in a little bit, but one thing I found that I thought was really interesting. So many different zoos across the world, their ultimate goal is to reintroduce species back into the wild where they are now extinct. And Disney's Animal Kingdom is actually a part of a white rhino initiative.
Yeah.
Back in 2006, they actually sent 2 female white rhinos, Nande and Hassani. Nande was actually born at Animal Kingdom. They were transferred to Uganda's Ziwi Animal Sanctuary. This is the first attempt that has been made to reintroduce white rhinos into West Africa, Uganda specifically, which is their original habitat, since they lost their last wild white rhino to poaching back in the 1980s. 1983 was the last time that they've had a wild white rhino in Uganda. So they started off really small. Ziwi opened in 2005, and they only had 6 rhinos. They have actually done very well with their breeding program. What are you laughing at?
The cat came up and started rubbing on my foot, and I was like, what in the world? We got talking about that tiger a little bit ago. Now I'm like, what the hell's under the table?
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. And the cat's very proud of himself, actually. He's got his tail going like this.
I scared Dad.
So they started off with 6 rhinos, but their breeding program has been doing phenomenally well. They now have 35 rhinos in the sanctuary, and when they hit between 40 and 50, they will be releasing these rhinos into the Agi Wildlife Reserve, which is a wildlife reserve that has a few of the big 5. Obviously, rhinos are one of the big 5 that you just don't see because obviously they're just not there. So I think that is absolutely incredible that they've had such a direct impact on bringing a species back into nature where it belongs.
Yeah.
So it's not just a breeding program just so that they will continue to have more and more for people to see later on. There really is conservation efforts being made to get those animals out and back where they belong.
Yeah, to get them off the endangered species list.
Yes.
I mean, you guys got to think about something too. Really something interesting. If you stop and think about back in, I think it was late 70s, early 80s, the bald eagle was almost extinct.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost gone. And now, guys, they're everywhere.
They're completely off of, they're not even on the threatened list.
No, they're everywhere. I mean, we have a family that lives just right up the road at your mom and dad's farm. There's an eagle that lives just right down the road from them. I mean, they're all over Pittsburgh. They're all up and down the rivers and stuff, and they're thriving. And it was because humans, our species, jumped in and helped with them getting them back on track to going back into the wild and stuff, and they did it. And if it wasn't for them, we would not have bald eagles flying in this country right now.
So and one of the quotes that I found that I thought was so incredible, it's a lot of biologists say it, but it was Dr. Zach, which is part of the animal conservation team. If you haven't seen it, you can't save it. And that is why zoos are so important.
Yeah.
So
big time. That's a really good slogan. I like that.
Yeah. I really enjoy that one too. So another part of their conservation story is purple martins. So if you have ever been to Epcot and you're kind of walking around and you see these really strange looking like gourd-like pods that are up in the air.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. They look like gourds.
Yeah.
The gourds are, if you guys don't understand what that is you'll see those basically during Halloween time. They're
like a type of pumpkin.
Yeah, they're like a type of pumpkin. It's used for decorations, basically.
Yeah.
But
some people eat them.
Yeah, some people do. I've
never had a gourd.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Me neither.
But basically, these houses are for purple martins.
Yep.
Purple martins is a small sparrow-ish kind of bird, and they come up into the state of Florida and surrounding areas, but mostly like central, a little bit higher up of Florida, and they nest. And they are one of the few species that actually is very codependent on humans, and so they tend to nest in gutters and wherever they can find, like things that people have created, and they will nest there, which obviously has caused a big problem because people don't like that.
Yeah.
These birds destroying like their homes, and so they get rid of them or get rid of the nest, and therefore they don't have eggs, and it's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So Disney's conservation team has taken the initiative of creating these like gourd-like houses for them, and these birds absolutely love them. And so what they'll do is they'll come up 6,000 miles all the way from Brazil. That is where these birds are originally from. They come up every year in order to be able to nest and raise their young, and then as soon as their young are old enough to be able to fly and make the journey, they all fly back south to live in Brazil.
Yeah.
And I think that is just such an incredible conservation story of being able to bring this bird species back from the brink, because like they were having really, really poor numbers at one point.
Oh yeah.
They have also started doing tracking on some of these birds. They have a few that have been have returned several times and stuff. They've I won't say they've developed relationships with them, but they know which bird is which.
Yeah.
And they've been able to do tracking devices on them.
And they still go back into the same homes.
Yeah, they do.
They remember them. It's kind of like a sea turtle going out to sea, coming back and laying their eggs right where they were hatched from. So, I mean, it's the exact same stuff. So it's really cool to see this kind of stuff because you don't think about it. Like, it's not like we go back home where we were born to raise a new family or anything. We, we continue to go out
wherever it is that we are, we just do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a really cool thing. And I think it's really neat that we have that going in helping increase the population of a bird that just probably in another 30 to 50 years wouldn't exist if it wasn't for people stepping up and doing something about it. So, and then kind of going back to Disney's Animal Kingdom, one thing I thought was really interesting is I talked about the employees, but did you know that there are 45 animals currently living at Disney's Animal Kingdom that have been there since opening day in 1998?
Yeah, that is amazing to think that. I mean, well, one of them is our favorite gorilla.
Gino
the gorilla.
Gino, he is,
and that was
silverback gorilla.
That was one of the things that was in the time capsule. It was Gino's very first toothbrush.
I know. I thought it was. They really
had
cool.
that in there too, so that was neat to see that. And kind of disgusting looking, but anyway.
Well, it's really incredible that Gino's still there. I mean, he's 42 years old.
Yeah.
He does have some health issues that they have been monitoring and taking care of with him, but he has. A very large family pod.
Yeah.
He has 2 little girls right now, Grace and I can't remember the other little girl's name, but they're very rotten.
Oh yeah, very rotten.
They steal his stuff all the time. You guys need to go and watch the Animal Kingdom show on Disney Plus if you haven't done so already.
Yeah.
Because they are so cute, and they're even cuter in person. So I can get you there to. Get you on that vacation. So, but that is one of the animals. Another animal that 2 animals that have been there since the very beginning is Jack and Jill, the miniature donkeys at the conservation station or Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yes, and
they're
sometimes they go up the hill.
So they're not brother and sister or anything like that. They're just a bonded pair. You'll very often see them just hanging out together, and you can go over and you can pet them and stuff. They are very loud. I mean, they're donkeys. Of course, they're going to be loud. When they decide to voice their opinion, everybody knows about it.
Yep.
But I thought it was really cool that they have been there for over 25 years. And then another one, probably one of the second most photographed animal in Walt Disney World is Mac, the bull elephant.
Yep.
And he's a daddy too. He's had a few calves and stuff.
Oh my God, that's funny. He's a Mac daddy.
He's a Mac daddy.
Oh yeah.
His actual name, which I didn't realize this until I was doing research earlier, is McLean.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I can see why they call him Mac because he's like a big Mac, Mac truck.
Hey, he's a big Mac.
So
yeah, he is a huge elephant.
He is giant.
Yeah, like when you see him like in person, it's just you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and that's why we chose this because I wanted to have Mac behind us.
Yep.
So.
Hey, no pooping on our floor.
Please no. So. Really think it's cool that Mac is still there and wowing guests.
Yes.
Another one, which we've only seen maybe once, is Sid the rhinoceros iguana.
You're right.
and it's such an odd thing. Like he lives in the Oasis. So if you are going into the park and you've just scanned your tickets, you're going to want to go on the right hand side. And as you're walking up through, you're going to see this little deer species, which is called the muntjac deer, and he is on the left of them.
Yeah.
So and he just hangs out on his rock most of the day, just sunbathing and having a good old time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sid the iguana, I think he's really cool. And then let me see here. Tuma, the Nile River hippo.
Yeah.
She is a very, very cool hippo. They actually call her Tuma Toes, the keepers do, because she's got little pink splotches between her toes. And so it looks like she's got like little cute pink toes.
Yeah.
For a giant animal that I don't even know how much they weigh, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
But Tuma has been there since the very beginning. She was brought in as a younger animal, and then she actually broke their streak of 13 years of not having any hippo babies, and she had baby Augusta, and she now also has baby Greta, and she's a fantastic mommy.
Yes.
So definitely check out
Augusta and Greta.
Yeah, check out the Kingdom Keepers video show, because they actually show her kind of being a little protective of her babies with an introduction of another female hippo into the float.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to watch. She also is known to have some dental issues off and on, and so you get to see her have a dental procedure done.
Yeah.
So very
interesting thing. Yeah, you think that, with the hippos and stuff, if they're going to do any dental work and stuff, you think they pull their tooth? No, they take it and they can cut the tooth, because the tooth is actually like a strong like fingernail type substance, but it's kind of like their horns. Like a horn on a rhino and a tusk on an elephant and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'll file it if they can.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they will pull something if they have to.
Oh yeah, if they have to. But I mean, it's so interesting to, like, okay, here's my thing. Like, if you're getting ready to go do a trip and you're getting ready to book it with us and you're wanting to take your kids and stuff, I want you to look. We've been doing this for 47 minutes now, just turned over. Look at all the information that you got so far, just from us, talking about one park. Look how educational it is for your kids to go and learn.
Exactly.
This is what we've done with all of our boys. Every time that they showed interest in stuff, we would find the educational part of this stuff and go take them and do this stuff. Yeah. We can help plan that kind of stuff for you and make those dreams come true of taking those kids to a beautiful park, teaching them. And you never know, you might have the next veterinary health clinic, or not health clinic, next veterinarian on your hands, sitting right beside you in your house.
Or an ecologist studying conservation. There's so many different things that you can do.
It would be because of that trip that you took them on, that you booked through Plum Crazy Adventures, that got them started into their career path.
Yep. I think that's absolutely incredible. So
anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I know there's a lot more. There's a lot more, but I'm sitting here looking at all the stuff that we've thrown at them in just like 47 minutes. I mean, and there's so much more. Like, we could sit and talk about this park alone.
I know.
Probably for 2 hours.
I know.
And we still have things to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even touched.
I remember when we were planning this like a month ago when we went, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got to go do this and we got to go do that and stuff. And JT's girlfriend, they're both 20. And so she was kind of like, I don't really get why you're so like obsessed. Like, she wanted to do Expedition Everest and things like that. And JT's like, no. Like, we have to go see Betty the Barbarossa. And she's like, what the heck is a Barbarossa? And he goes, she's the cutest pig ever. I was like, oh my gosh, if I can get a 20-year-old boy, man, sorry, JT, you're an adult now. If I can get a 20-year-old man to be super excited about a pig and going and seeing Miss Betty, like, I've done my job right. Like,
yes, you have.
I am super stoked.
Should have a high five on that. Yes.
We did it. We did good. But another animal that I really wanted to talk about really quick, because I feel bad. I have seen him. I had no idea. Like, I didn't even realize that he was like on exhibit, because it's a bird, and a lot of times you have birds that just come in and they do their thing and then they leave again. But Johnny, the white stork,
Johnny.
He lives in front of the Tree of Life, and he is probably one of the most photographed animals in Animal Kingdom because so many people get their photos taken with the Tree of Life, and he's in the background staring at them.
Yeah. What are you doing? Hold on, guys.
Yeah, gotta make sure you get my good side.
Hello.
So, but Johnny the White Stork, I love him. He is so pretty. And just to give you guys some clarification, he is actually in the same habitat as the kangaroos and the vultures, right over in that area. So very, very fun that he is over there. And guaranteed you've had some photos of him.
Let me ask you this. How many times have we been to Animal Kingdom?
4
times,
I think.
There is parts of that park that we still have not seen yet.
Yeah.
It is amazing how big this place is.
It's really sad that it's my favorite park, but we don't get to go every time.
Yeah.
But we made a point to go this past time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much more you want to talk about, but
I think I'm about done with the list.
I've got something I want to talk to you guys about. First of all, this is a show that goes on. It's one of my favorites there. This is the one that goes on right in front of the Tree of Life, and this happens, I think, 3-4 different times throughout the day. They do have the show times, and this is when the birds, all the macaws, come flying in. Okay, so a lot of people are like, "Oh wow, they got them flying in! Wow, that's really cool."
Wonders of flight, I think, is what they call it.
Wonders of flight. They got the birds to come flying in. Okay, wow, really cool. But a lot of people don't realize how much training goes in to getting these guys to come up there, because you guys don't realize they're flying from the back side of the park clear to the front.
Yeah. Off stage, on stage.
Yeah. So what they would do is, like, anytime they got a new macaw, they would start training it in short distances. They would start from like here to, another point. When the macaw got there, that macaw gets treats and stuff. Yeah. And then they would then they would go further. Then they would go further out, and they would go further out. Yeah. And eventually they would get them to the point where they're used to flying with the whole flock, and they would come flying into the front. And if you guys have not experienced that yet, this is so cool. Must do. And especially now, let me rephrase this. If you have a fear of birds, this is not a show for you.
Maybe not.
Because they're literally going right above your head.
Yep.
Like, I mean, literally,
you can grazed.
You can literally feel the wind off of their wings when they're coming through. But I absolutely love this show. I thought it was so cool.
And the really incredible thing about that is, with their birds, everything is completely voluntary. Yep. And if they decide that they want to go and fly off and go do something else, and just not be a part of it anymore,
they're free to go.
Do that. Yeah. That blows my mind because some of these birds are ridiculously expensive if you were to have them as a pet. Yeah. So the fact that they do that.
There goes Henry. Well, he's not coming back.
I mean, eventually they do. I mean, they're always going to come back to where they're fed. But it's really amazing to me that they have that much trust and training with these guys that it's like, okay, it's not like there's a net over top of Animal Kingdom that's going to keep them in the area, you know?
Like when you go to certain zoos and stuff and you see like the bird enclosures and stuff, and they have those great big nets that are up over the top, and they're way, way, way up there, so the way the birds can actually fly around from treetop to treetop inside the enclosure.
Yeah.
But this is just 100% open. I mean, like Megan said, they see you later. There he goes. The whole flock can take off and go if they wanted to, but they are so well trained and taken care of. They stay right there.
They're very happy.
Yeah.
True testament to how great they really are to their animals.
Yeah, right.
So.
I mean, the ducks won't leave.
No, Disney ducks.
Disney ducks, baby. Old Donald.
Oh, goodness. So if you are thinking about doing a vacation that is conservation themed or just animal themed, obviously Animal Kingdom is going to be our number one choice, because I mean, we could send you there several days in a row and you still won't get to see and do everything.
Right.
But there's other things that you can do too, like what I mentioned earlier. We can send you to Disney's Hilton Head Resort, and you can learn about the marshes that they have there.
Yep.
The sea turtles, help them with their sea turtle conservation, and watching for hatchlings to make sure that they're going into the ocean instead of up onto the bank.
Same thing at Vero Beach.
Vero Beach, exact same thing with the sea turtles.
Yep.
Also, it doesn't always have to be Disney. Obviously, Adventures by Disney, they have a lot of nature oriented. I can also do National Geographic tours and things. So if that's something you're thinking about, we can do that. But
whale watching, oh wow, that's a goal. That is a big time goal. I would love.
Yes,
I want to be able to see a whale. I want to be able to see a whale.
Yep. Send you up to Alaska during the summer and possibly see whales breaching and stuff up there.
Yep.
Or during the winter, send you to Hawaii for a couple of weeks. You can go to the north shore of Oahu, and you can watch whales from there because that's their breeding grounds in the winter.
Oh yeah.
So I hate to say it, like I'm a animal fanatic. The only reason I didn't become a veterinarian myself is because I could not pass Ohio State University chemistry classes. Chemistry was not my forte, but I absolutely love it. And so being able to share it with all of you, my geekiness, I've definitely converted him into even more of an animal lover, believe it or not. He was pretty up there before we met, but I've made it more so. I've added to the addiction.
Yeah. Just no more dogs.
No, we're done with dogs for a little while.
Just an alligator.
What if we got a tiger? No?
Okay, anyway.
No? Okay. I tried.
You complain about these dogs. These two Great Danes. I'm
know.
telling you. You bring a tiger in here? Wow.
Maybe we just get a pygmy elephant. I don't know if there is such a thing. I know there's a pygmy hippo.
I don't think there is.
Anyway,
I think we've officially reached the stupid part of the show.
Yeah, we're getting a little silly. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all so much for joining us. Actually, we're running a little over. It's 9:06. I apologize. And that's what we get for having the issue with the YouTube earlier.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
didn't realize that we went over.
Yeah, we did. Yep. So thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I do apologize for the snafu earlier. Now, just as a heads up, we will be going live again next Monday night. I do not remember what our topic is going to be. Do you remember?
I have no clue.
I will be posting about that later this week.
Yeah. So stay tuned to that, guys, on our Facebook page.
Yes.
Hey, and also wanted to throw out a quick shout out to everybody on YouTube. 248 subscribers. There you go. Yes, we are almost at 250. I am loving this. It tells 2 more people. Let's get 2 more people on there by next Monday. Let's get up to that 250 mark. I would love to see that.
Love that.
But thank you guys.
I really appreciate the consistency too, because when you guys subscribe, you're staying, and I am just so grateful for that.
Yes, man, we appreciate all the love and support that we always get from all of you. And don't forget, hey, you want to get ready to book a next vacation, you got to give us a call, man, because we're going to get you there. And you're going to have some fun, and I'm going to shut up because I'm starting to sound really dumb. So anyway, guys, it has been a blast hanging out with you guys tonight. It's been so much fun talking to you about one of our favorite parks at the Disney World complex, the Animal Kingdom. Oh, love that place. And guys, thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you guys next week. And as always,
definitely tell Nick good night for you, Deb.
Definitely, we'll tell him. And as always, guys, are you ready for your next Plum Crazy adventure?
Because we're ready to get you there.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.